Hi, welcome to the calendar. I'm your host, Kris Nation. Joining me is our assistant lifestyles editor, Chris Copley. Chris?
How you doing?
I'm doing okay. You?
Yes, it's the beginning of a week. It's a great week. So
Exactly.
And there's a lot going on. You know, sometimes people forget that during the week
we have
around
a lot
here.
of events.
Exactly, and
Yeah.
and you know, it's not always the high-profile events, which are often on the weekend. But
Exactly.
there's one of the libraries here in the county, Smithsburg Library, is very active in both doing things for the community, having events in the library, but also a variety of things. Like this week on Tuesday, they're having a lecture on the Wright brothers, which I have to say, I'm a geek, okay? I'm a history
I kind of
geek.
am too, yeah. That's
and so,
the first flight, so that seems like a really interesting topic.
And it was, and they're from Ohio, where I am also from Ohio. So although the first flight took place in North Carolina, I just enjoy the history. I mean, how do you? Looking back on it, it seems kind of obvious because we've all flown. But you know, these guys had to figure out how do you actually create a machine that's heavier than air that will fly. Not easy to do.
Yeah.
So this is Gerard Blake has been doing, this is the second of a two-part lecture. First one was last week, sort of the build up to the actual flight.
This is the main event, second
he
back
talks
half,
about what happened as they learned to fly, and then
when they had to go on the thimble of fuel, and he gives them the whole lecture.
The whole 9 yards. Yeah.
Very nice.
So anyway, that's this Tuesday in Smithsburg.
Very nice. Let's go ahead and get that info up on the screen for you. That way you can go to the event if you would like. That's the lecture on the Wright brothers, 7 p.m. Tuesday, August 20th. That's at the Smithsburg Library in Smithsburg. It's free, and the phone number is up on your screen. So our next event, if they're not into planes and they're more of kind of a religious type, what's going on for them this week?
Okay, well, look, a few things, but one of the things that the city of Hagerstown does every year, they hold a gospel concert series on Wednesday evenings in City Park. And this week's it's a gospel quartet, Southern Gospel Quartet, so old style. They've had some bluegrass bands. They've had some more contemporary Christian acts.
But this is very traditional to the
This is
classic.
Masters 4, which this is a Pennsylvania group, and they've played here in the area from time to time. So it's good old-time stuff. It's a great way to spend Wednesday evening, 7 o'clock, every Wednesday, 7 o'clock during summer. And, come out and nice time, a good message, and it's outdoors, so how can it go wrong?
And exactly. Now, was that a family event, too? It
seems
like it, but it's always good to check.
It is, and it's free. So.
And very, very nice. All right, if you want to go to that event, let's go ahead and get that info up on the screen for you. That way you know where to go and what time. Now, that's the Gospel in the Park, as he just mentioned, at 7 p.m. Wednesday, August 21st. That's at the Peter Buys Band Shell. It's at City Park here in Hagerstown. It's free, and the phone number is now up on your screen. Now, we've talked several times in the past, a couple of times about this contest, but I don't really get all the details. What is it?
Speaking of City Park, every year we have the Landmarks contest. And originally, the name comes from, the contest was started by taking close-up photographs of landmarks here in Washington County or Hagerstown.
To inspire kind of an art feel. And
exactly.
To get
So it's sort of, take a new look at these things that we all know about. We've all these buildings and structures that we know so well, and look at them afresh. So every year, that's what we do. We take, 10 or 12 close-up photographs of landmarks or buildings, structures in a designated area. This year, the area is City Park. So in City Park, we've taken 10 close-up photos of structures and buildings. Nice. The idea is that we printed them in the paper. They're also available online. So you take the paper with you and look around for these structures. And it's just a nice way to spend time in the park. You're outdoors. There's a lot of trees. You're in the shade.
Nice.
It's a nice walk around with a purpose. And you can win some money. The winner picks up $300, which is not bad.
Very nice, especially we can all use a little extra cash.
Exactly. Yeah.
So let's get the info up. That way, if you want to be sure about the contest, we can talk a little bit about that. Now, as he did mention, the winner is $300 prize. You can take the papers he mentioned out to the park and look at some of that. So what about our next adventure?
Okay. The Sharpsburg Ghost Tour has been, I know, this is exciting. And the guy who does this, Mark Brew, he's just an amateur historian, but he's been involved in Civil War history and talking about that for a number of years. He's written a play based on letters that people wrote during the Civil War. He's quite knowledgeable. So what he does is he meets people right in the main square in the center of Sharpsburg and sort of sets the scene. It's a very low-key, when you think ghost tour, you think, oh, spooks and all that.
Yeah, you kind of get like a little scared.
Not really that. Mark is much more personable, much more on the level of, how a person would experience, what do they see?
To give you kind of immerse you in the feeling of what happened.
And he's listened to stories of people who live in Sharpsburg telling them, spooky things, eerie things they have seen. This one guy wakes up in the morning with a cup of coffee, like every other morning, and he sees this soldier walking down the street with this giant sliver of of wood, a spike of wood through him, which connects to a historical event that took place in Sharpsburg, where a guy was actually pierced by a giant sliver of wood.
That's one of those events, yeah, where you kind of have to think if that coffee's right, if maybe you need another pot. Yeah.
So, I mean, he tells stories like that, walks you. It's a short walk through town and about an hour and a half long. It's a really good event.
Very nice. Now, should people take kids to that, or is that one of those they shouldn't?
It is fine to take kids. It's a little eerie, but it's not one of those that's going to scar the kids.
Okay, I've got a 5-year-old who's addicted to ghost stuff. So
he would like this.
He'd probably like it very much. Sounds like a really cool event. Let's go ahead and get the info up. That way, if you want to go to the ghost tour, you can. That's the Sharpsburg Ghost Tour. That's at 6:30 p.m. Wednesday through Sunday. That starts at Town Square, as we were just mentioning, in Sharpsburg. It's free. Now, the phone number's up on the screens. Make sure you call for reservations, because some of it can be limited.
I should say it's not free. There is a fee. It's a minor fee. It's like $5-6. I think it depends on how old the person is. So check with Mark. There's a phone number there.
That was my fault. Yeah, make sure you don't go down there and think that. So yeah, but still, that's not bad for a ghost tour.
And it's a great evening of entertainment.
Very nice. So what's our next? If you're more of an art person and you're looking for something along those lines.
Actually, this is a big weekend for art. But one thing I'll mention: the Mansion House Art Gallery is the home of the Valley Art Association, and they have a new show that just opened up just the last week or so. And this is it's kind of not seasonal now, but it's an autumn. It's a series of autumn scenes. So as the weather gets cooler, it'll be perfect. But that's in their special changing gallery, the one that changes month by month. Sometimes they have a 2-month show, as in this case. Yeah. But then they've got other galleries that are full of art that their members produce ongoingly and have up on permanent display for sale or just to look at. I like going here because it's a small gallery that's packed with stuff, packed with images, different people, different art. So it's really, for me, it's fun. It's low key and fun.
Very cool. It seems like one of those events. Now, can they actually purchase there, or is it strictly a look-in?
You can. Nope, you can just go to look in, and that's fine. And if you want to buy something, prices are pretty reasonable for original art.
Yeah, no kidding. I've seen even in art, our neck of the woods here, you can get really nice artwork from some of these local artists that's phenomenal, and still it's very reasonable.
Yeah.
You don't have to spend 2 paychecks or 3 checks just to get something for your den.
Yeah.
So it seems like a great event. Let's go ahead and get this info up for you. That way, if you want to go to the gallery and the event, you can. Now, that is Meet Gallery members. It's Friday, August 23rd through Sunday, August 25th. That's at the Manson House at City Park, Hagerstown. Now, admission is free. The phone number and the website are currently up on your screen. Now, we'll be right back in just a minute.